Welcome back to the 16th Marketing Conclave, organized by IAMAI and powered by Z5. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move on to an interesting fireside chat with Mr. Manvendra Singh Gohil, former Crown Prince of Rajpipla and founder, Lakshya Trust, and Mr. Rajan Srinivasan, founder and CEO, Scatter. Welcome, everyone. I would now request Mr. Srinivasan to take over.
Thank you very much. So good evening and thank you everyone for being here. I am truly privileged to share screen time with Prince Manvendra, who is a leading LGBTQ champion. I've had the good fortune of knowing Manvendra since my childhood, as the apartment I grew up in belonged to his family before my grandparents bought the apartment. Manvendra also had a great interest in plants and was therefore a regular visitor to my home since my father was a horticulturist at that time. So, in a way, I've seen Manvendra's coming out from very, very close quarters. I salute his belief in himself and the strength to literally take on the world while leading an enlightenment campaign about the LGBTQ community. Manvendra is no stranger to media attention. He's featured on the Oprah Winfrey Show on more than one occasion, opens international pride walks and festivals. He's written about in leading international and local publications, recently the New York Times. Simply put, he's quite a media magnet. Today, Manvendra is going to go beyond the regular conversations about diversity and inclusion, right? He's going to address this august audience, and pardon the pun there, but he wants to address this audience, which comprises of digital marketers, publishers, digital solution providers, right? About the value and, more importantly, the need, right, for a robust marketing engagement with the LGBTQ community. So I'm not going to waste more time than that. I'm going to dive directly into the first question for Manvendra. So Manvendra, marketers who are here, and their craft is to engage audiences, and they are part of our audience today, right? So why don't we dive in and start with understanding what the LGBTQ addressable market is, right? So what is this market? Is this really a market, or what is it?
So yeah, thanks again for having me on this for this session. See, we need to understand firstly why the LGBT market is so important, and for that, it's important to understand one term which I keep using, and that's it's called pink economy, or the pink dollar. Now, what is this pink economy or pink dollar? So one has to understand that though we are a sexual minority, maybe 5 to 10% of any given population, but we are huge in numbers. We are actually, if you ask me, we are in several millions in the world, and in India itself we are a huge population. And one has to also understand that most of us, we are single because of the fact that in India we still don't have gay marriages not be legalized, and also we have a huge amount of spending power with us, a huge money at our disposal because of the fact we are not married. So we don't have, we don't have need to spend on our spouses, our wives. Don't have children, so there's no question of spending money on fees or their marriages, or family expenses. Another thing is that a lot of us have come out of closet, and we have even been thrown out from homes. So even parents don't expect us expect that we should be taking care. So there's no financial obligation on us, and that's why our spending power has increased a lot. And that's why it's important that this pink money, this pink economy, should be captured. And even the World Bank has said that there was a study was done where they said that, like, the LGBT population needs to be captured. This population can definitely improve the economic condition of our country. So we have to take all these things into consideration, then it is very important that this market this is captures this community and takes advantage of us who are so many in number, and we have so much of financial capacity, huge spending power is there with us to spend. And to be honest, we love shopping. We love to spend money on ourselves. We since Because we don't have any other source where we can spend the money. We don't have families, we don't have to look after parents. Some of us, we don't have children. So where do we spend the money on? And I mean, if we have the money to spend, then I think brands and all need to know this, and they can attract us towards increasing their marketing and strategies in the way that we can those brands can help us to spend money, in a way. So
Yeah. So is there a number you have to this market size by any chance, or
yeah, I mean, I can quote you one. Some survey was done, which from there was this LGBT Capital which had done the survey sometime in 2015, and the survey has said that there is an estimated LGBT population of approximately 80 million in India. I mean, this is just in India, and this is way back in 2020. And this survey is also spending power per annum of the LGBT community in India is to the tune of 90 billion US dollars.
Wow.
90 billion.
Wow.
So you can imagine the how much is this, and this is again 2015, and now we are at 2020. So you can imagine how much has increased, and especially now we talk about post the Supreme Court judgment which came out in 2018. There are more and more people are coming out of the closet now because of the decriminalization of homosexuality. So definitely the spending power has increased now.
oh, okay, that's like a really huge market in that case. And having said that, and again considering that we are talking about digital marketing where there are so many micro communities and smaller, can the LGBTQ community be broken into smaller pieces or market segments like the marketers would kind of want to call it? Would you be able to throw some light on that?
Yeah. So see, when we say LGBTQI, it's a very long acronym. I mean, the letters keep adding every time new identities are discovered. So it's an umbrella term which can be divided into, there are three major I would say divisions we can make, apart from the other ones. One is lesbian, another is gay, and another is a transgender. Now all three have got different needs. And like, for if I talk about gay, a gay person is is a male who is emotionally, sexually, romantically, relationally attracted towards another male. Similarly, if I talk about a lesbian, then she's a woman who is emotionally, sexually, romantically, and relationally attracted towards another woman, or a female attracted towards another female. As when I talk about a transgender, then transgender are those who are like who are born in a particular sex, but they don't their gender is not the same as what they have been assigned at birth. So there are all different. So the strategies, the marketing strategies which has to be designed, have to be designed or taking into consideration these different kind of identities, and each need of these identities are different. So anyone who is any brand or any one has to do any, they first need to understand this terminology, and based on that they have to work out their strategies.
Okay, fine, fair enough. So I understand that there's this large, size of the community. There's spending power. There are different segments. From what I'm hearing you say that, the gay and the lesbian segment needs are very, very different, etc. But we still, are in India. We're still in a society where, brands and marketers stay away from the politics of it all. The stands that are taken are typically non-controversial, right? They kind of stay away from non-mainstream communities, right? So would it be true to, let me play the devil's advocate here, right? So if brands were to talk about, the LGBTQ community and engage with the LGBTQ community and let the world know that they are doing that, is there a business backlash that they could face from the non-LGBTQ community?
Yeah. See, I don't think this is true because I mean I can give you so many examples of various brands where they have engaged with the community, and yet they have done extremely well in their in their own field. So, for example, I can give you example of one brand, Levi's, for example. Now, Levi's had recently done a campaign, an advertising campaign, which when they had invited different gay activists to come. Like there was Honor, who's a gay filmmaker. There was Sushant Digvikar, who was a famous drag queen, but he's gay. Then there was a transgender. I was invited also. I couldn't join the campaign, but I was also invited to come and join the advertisement campaign because they wanted to show inclusivity and even show that that we to mainstream our issues. But it didn't kind of matter much in when it came to their strategies were like even though they were very much favoring us, but it kind of didn't affect that brand as such. On the contrary, it became more popular. Then even there has been cases where, like for example, this tea. There's a tea label. I'm forgetting the name. I think it's
Red label?
Red Label. Yeah, the Red Label tea had one advertisement in which there was a transgender was shown. And still that brand did well. I can give you so many examples. There is a very common misconception. I mean, there are many misconceptions, but one of the misconceptions which I want to mention here is about that many people think that the senior citizens or the population, the older population, they are homophobic. But that's not correct because I can give you my own example. I came out open to the public in March 2006 when I made this declaration that I am gay, and I mean, of course, it created a big scandal, a big controversy in India. But it was very interesting to note that the entire city of Rajpipla, and not just Rajpipla, there were a lot of people, all known to me or unknown to me. They were very much protesting against my coming out because they never expected something like this to come out in the media. But there was this very interesting uh, association of the senior citizens of our city. They wrote to me and they said, we would like to congratulate you, we would like to honor you at our association meeting. And mind you, they are all old men. They're 60 plus, 70 plus, 80. Even the president himself was 90 then, 90 years old. And he wanted to honor me. Why? Because he said that not because I came out as gay, but because I have spoken the truth. And they want to honor that. So the older generation is understanding us even better than, I would say, the less younger or the middle-aged population is there. So these are the myths and misconceptions which people need to know when they develop their strategies. And I think if the brands are engaging us in their strategies, their campaigns and all, that they will do pretty well.
Okay, so there's no like negative blowback that you would think that brands would have for pushing this cause, right?
No, I don't think so. There's any negative. I mean, think if they, yeah, but on the contrary, I have certain brands which have kind of angered or upsetted the community, and they will be suffering at the end because, like, I would like to mention about one brand which I had a personal experience, and this is the Patanjali brand, the Patanjali you can say, which is being promoted by Baba Ramdev. Now, with due respects to him, of course, he has been very, very homophobic in making some very serious allegations and comments against us. The very fact that after we won the Delhi High Court judgment, it was Baba Ramdev who went against us in the Supreme Court along with a lot of other religious activists, and they wanted to challenge the Delhi High Court judgment, saying that it is unnatural and immoral and against the order of nature and so on and so forth. And he went on saying that homosexuality is a mental disorder, and he would in fact, he invited me also. He said, "You come to my ashram and I will cure you, I will treat you." In spite of the fact that the Indian Psychiatric Association has ruled out that homosexuality is not a mental disorder, he went to the extent of that. Of course, Baba Ramdev lost in the Supreme Court. He had no evidence to prove that it is a mental disorder, so he was like, he lost the case. But now the LGBT population has realized that that people who are homophobic in nature pass comments like these, their product should be boycotted. They should not be used. So I do not use Patanjali products, and there are so many of us from us who know this fact, and even the very good thing about the LGBT population, even though I say we are a sexual minority, we are not that many numbers as, even though we are 80 million, but that's not a small number. But we are very good, well networked, and if one individual has a problem, has a crisis, the the word spreads really fast, and the entire population has an issue. So excuse me. So we are in India, we have something called it's a network, it's a registered society called InfoSem, Indian network for integrated network for sexual minorities. Now this network comprises of around more than 150 organizations. Practically we have some working either for the lesbian or gay, bisexual, transgender, or even all the sexual, for that matter, all sexual minorities. Now during the time of such crisis, we call it crisis because definitely somebody makes some false allegation against us, nobody will tolerate that. So during this time, we all unite together. Now you can imagine there are more than 150 organizations. Each organization has on an average 4,000 to 5,000 members. So you imagine that how many people are there all together in that network. And if I'm not even counting the friends, the allies, the other population which is existing, and if I count all that, we will be again going into several millions. Now, if we all unitedly take the stand that boycott Patanjali products, then you can imagine how much it is going to affect the market. So there have been cases where people have tried to make these allegations, and they have also suffered in this way.
Yeah. Is there any other brand besides Patanjali that you've either heard of or come across, or
Yes, I can give you many examples. But this was one of them, which was this was personal to me because Baba Ramdev himself proposed to me, that he wants to cure me, and which of course he didn't take the challenge later on. But so there is this about Kingfisher as well. Now Vijay Mallya, who has also done something similar, he also made some very disturbing false allegations against us, kind of comparing this with masculinity, and so and then again, see, I don't blame these people also who making these comments, because I blame their ignorance. They themselves are not aware about our issues, so they will just do what they have heard or what what their opinions are. So again, Kingfisher beer, many of my friends, of course, I don't drink, so there's no question about me using or not using. But there are many of my friends from the LGBT community who don't, you don't take the Kingfisher beer or any of the Kingfisher products. There was another television channel which comes to my mind. Many years back, they did a sting operation on a gay person without his consent and knowledge, and broke the confidentiality and his privacy, and leaked his information. Now that guy went to the extent of taking his life, attempting to commit suicide. And when this fact came to our knowledge, again it came to the InfoSem network, and we decided we will boycott that television channel. And to the extent we went to the channel, and we got an apology from that channel, that henceforth they will not do something like that. And then it was decided that yes, we will withdraw that boycott. So these are the instances which these products, and how it can be impactful, because we are much better networked, not just within our areas, but internationally also. So I think we are even better networked than the heterosexual population. Even though, yeah. So we are, one thing, one message comes and it spreads like wildfire, and the entire world unites and comes together to take a stand.
That's very, very good. So, we are talking about brands, etc. I wanted to, ask you a question. Like, I know that, you interact with heads of states, in your championing of the whole LGBTQ cause, you have several community level conversations. But
Yeah.
have you ever worked with either advertising or marketing or digital platforms with professionals from these backgrounds? Have you ever had any interactions there?
Yeah, see, my organization, Lakshya Trust, started with the government inviting us to partner with us, the state government of Gujarat. So, and we started with working for HIV AIDS issues amongst the men having sex with men and transgender population. Sometime back, I got a call from one of the government officers telling me that he wants to use my photograph and my slogan for condom promotion, for their brand, the government brand Nirod, Nirod, which is a government brand condom. And I was quite surprised. I said, why my photograph and why my message? So and they were planning it to do it on a big scale. The entire state, they were planning to have my posters, banners, giving my slogan. And I just asked them. I said, why me? Why? I mean, that time Amitabh Bachchan was appointed by the government as the brand ambassador for Gujarat, promoting Gujarat tourism. I said, why don't you take, why don't you take him, and why are you interested in me? They said, no, you are the face of Gujarat when it comes to HIV work, because we have been working with the state government for now 20 years, So you have been the face of the HIV movement. You have been the face of the LGBT movement. So when people look at you, they will be influenced. So that way, I have been the government calls me the poster boy. I'm the poster boy of Gujarat government, where my posters, banners are all over the state. They are on the road, they are in hospitals, including the toilets also. It's very funny. The public toilets also have my posters. So I think, see, when government felt the need that using me could promote the safe sex practices, thereby the people could understand the need of the HIV issues could be covered, and people could use condoms. Then I think it's a big, very big recognition. I would say.
Absolutely. I just want to ask you, another question is that, you know, when time permits you from your busy schedule, right? What is it that you do? What is it that really drives you?
So, see, yes, I try to do my best when it comes to the LGBT rights and also the HIV rights. But other than that, a lot of my time goes in education, creating awareness. For example, I take opportunities like these, which has come because my aim is to remove all those myths and misconceptions people carry about us, and especially when I talk about the corporate world. I've engaged with lot of them nationally as well as internationally. Like I can give you some names like KPMG with the Society General Bank, the Goldman Sachs, Salesforce, Microsoft. Uh, Many names I can give you. You know, where even there is a group in Mumbai. It's called the India Business Group. They have also brought me in as their honorary member. You know, this is a group of industrialists, businessmen, corporates from all over India. And they have seen some value in me, and they brought me into that. In fact, they 2 years back they even honored me for as a human rights activist working for human rights. So I think it's very important that I educate them, I educate people, and like as I was telling you, it's very important to understand the terminology of LGBT for any person to work for them. So if that happens, then I think the entire strategies and all can be developed, taking us into consideration.
Oh, very good. Okay. I have one audience question because I think we have a few minutes before we kind of wrap up this lovely conversation. This has come from an audience where I think the first part of the question is answered in the second part, but I'll read it out. It says, do you think India is ready for progressive ads or campaigns like the West? It's immediately followed with how long before we become as progressive?
Yeah, definitely. India can definitely lead, in a lot of brands. I forgot to mention about one very important, important success story with MAC Cosmetics. Now, MAC Cosmetics is a well-known international brand, which was also very inclusive in its hiring policies and with gender-neutral products, and which had somebody like RuPaul, who was the famous drag queen, who was heading the leading their campaign. When it came to India, this cosmetic brand had collaborated with the Humsafar Trust, which is the first organization which started working for the homosexual and transgender population. And with the help of MAC, they have they have partnered with Humsafar. They gave them so many benefits which was lacking, like providing them infrastructure, capacity building of their staff, providing them with internet outreach programs, support group for positive people. So many things they have done, and yet they have they've gone a long way. They are so popular, in spite of joining hands with such a old prestigious LGBT group. So I don't see any reason why brands will not do well. They will do. In fact, they will do much better.
Okay, so you do believe that, but you do believe that there is a gap between the West and India which can be covered.
Yeah, there is a gap. I mean, and that how that gap can be covered is when these brands can involve the community. See, it's very important that this involvement should be there, where we are there. We are so many of us in the country we can be used to fill the gaps. So if you involve us, if you use our expertise, our experience, in what we have dealt in the past, then I'm sure these gaps can be filled up.
All right, thank you so much. We just have like a minute, I think, now before we need to wrap up. I want to thank you on behalf of IMAI for making time out of your busy schedule and to address a very different group of people, the marketers, right? And for those who do want to connect with Manav, I think you could log on to his site, which is Lakshya Trust, LAKSHYATRUST.com. And you could perhaps connect with him. And I would strongly urge the marketers and, more so the digital marketers, right, to kind of raise the right flag, which is the rainbow flag. So Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for this.
That was indeed an interesting conversation. Thank you, Prince Manvendra and Mr. Srinivasan, for taking time out to join us today. I would also like to thank our valued partners, Telesign, ShareChat, Blink Digital, and Nielsen,